And then one day something happens and everything changes. In my case, the loss of my son. And the trauma that I've been going through wasn't just the trauma of losing Sheldon. It was the years of unprocessed trauma, grief, loss, everything that I'd gone through, the divorces, building businesses, successful businesses, the failures, all the things that I went through that I thought that I had dealt with. Because being a high-functioning entrepreneur or a businesswoman, what do? You haven't got time to really deal with these emotions like the divorce, or a failure of a business, or a product range is not working anymore and you have to create a new one, or the moving, all those things that happens, teenage children, divorces, the connecting with the new husband, with his family, and the dynamics of the two families together, just daily stresses as well. Now, because you're high functioning, you haven't got time to really sit and think about these emotions and the trauma and the grief that you're going through. As an integrated health practitioner, I love to use biology and science. I love to look at the frequencies of what's happening in the body, that we can have a look on a cellular level. So my name is Tanya Sutherland. If this kind of resonates with you, please stick around and don't forget to press the subscribe button down below. So you just suppress it and you move on, because that's what you do the best, is that you're just very active and you're working, and you kind of think the harder you work, the harder you push yourself with that masculine energy. That is almost like, part of being successful. This is what you do. And what happens is your nervous system just keeps on going with you, because this is the way that you cope. But year in and year out, your nervous system is slowly depleting. And then what happens is something like severe trauma, grief, loss, or just a move, or something that you have to reset, that suddenly hits you so hard. And the interesting thing about the unprocessed stress that's sitting in the body, because it hasn't had a chance to be released, starts to manifest in severe pain. How trauma and stress can manifest with absolute inflammation in the body and catch you at the time that you least expect it. In my case, grief and loss of my son, I thought I'd share this with you. This is my journey of how I'm healing going through this. We're too hard on ourselves as women. We treat our bodies like high performance machines and just basically top up with more coffee or more willpower or more workouts. But it catches up with you because we're conditioned to function at this level. But the bloating and the waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, the brain fog in the afternoon, and the tiredness and the stubborn weight gain, the cravings, these are symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system, and you keep ignoring it. Your body is going to manifest into serious inflammation, oxidative stress, or even disease or cancer. Now, you've really had all this pain all the years. In my case, in my 30s, I had lower back pain, gut issues, bladder infections that kept on reoccurring. Eventually, it got to a point where I was struggling to sleep. But the main thing was my gut. And I would just exercise more, work harder. But what happened now, by losing Sheldon, the severe pain that surfaced in my body. Now, so grief isn't just a heavy feeling in your heart. It's like a physical earthquake that shook my entire nervous system into this absolute high alert. And then, of course, there was this non-stop wave of cortisol release in my body, which, as you know, is a stress hormone. It kind of felt like back in the days when I was younger, building my career, of just pushing and pushing. I was so used to being busy. If it's quiet, I'd create another product or redesign the look, or I'd start a new range, or I'd create a fashion show, or I'd organize a big talk about confidence and styling, or I'd start writing a book. I would do all these things. That was my way of processing. But I wasn't really processing. I was just burning out even more and spiraling down. So when your nervous system basically is locked in this high alert, it starts to physically, which is that tight fisting itself in to survive. For me, the survival response was absolute chaos. So my muscles in my lower back pulled tight. My hips started getting very sore. The stiffness of waking up in the morning, it was ridiculous. My lower back, my bladder infection, my gut filled up again with the inflammation and the bloatedness, just gaining weight. Shoulder pains, my jawline, my neck, started getting headaches. not sleeping at all. My body was in absolute fight and flight, and just with this absolute lockdown of just chronic pain. Gut and then bladder shut down. This was all part of my body with so much inflammation and bacteria that was just growing in my gut. And of course the gut lining was just leaking. The little villas were opening, and of course the gut lining is now damaged, and all the parasites, the pathogens, the bacteria was flowing out of the gut in the nervous system, causing more inflammation. The memory loss, there were days where I just couldn't remember a damn thing. And trying to do a talk or trying to do a video, I know these things out of my head, and then these words just disappear. It's like I can't remember words or a full sentence or to explain something on a medical level that I studied and I know out of my head. It just like vanished. Now, so my whole body basically became out of alignment. The gut lining being so severely out of balance that my chronic constipation was so bad that I had a colon obstruction, which was so painful. I was still taking all my supplements. I was exercising less because I realized that the high intense exercise that I used to do, my body no longer feels safe with. It would take longer to recover. I would feel more exhausted. I slowed down with the excessive exercising and decided to go back to yoga, do the breathing work and to do the stretching. And I also realized I can't take so many supplements for everything because that's overstimulation. Now, my body did already feel like it was totally under attack, and I had to learn to just be and accept the fact that I have lost my youngest son, which has been probably the most painful experience I've ever experienced in my life. I have been through 3 divorces. I have rebuilt my business from the ground up. I have been around with a lot of trauma, emotional abuse, sexual abuse from a very young age, and I've come up strong and been very successful. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I organize one-day retreats to help women to just restore their energy, understand their hormones and what's going into the body. So I had to take all that and heal myself. So the pain was so chronic, and I thought I just cannot start taking medicine because there are a lot of side effects. Because I was so in this sort of state of grief and really feeling sorry for myself, I was spiraling down, and I wasn't really thinking about what can I do about the pain. So I was taking more magnesium. Then I thought, okay, what about me looking at my collagen? So I have a collagen type 1. So once my nervous system felt a little bit safe, I know it would start healing. So I needed to basically, build the raw building blocks to fix my structural damage and that years of high cortisol that's basically eaten away at my tissues. So I started drinking my collagen 1 every morning in my coffee. So I stopped fasting because of such high cortisol, such high levels of stress. It was ridiculous to try and fast because my thyroid was screaming at me because I wasn't sleeping. Suddenly I'm gaining weight, the bloatedness, the depression. So I knew this is my thyroid, and I put myself on my quantum diagnostic machine, did a health assessment with myself, and got a diagnostic data report to see my thyroid was screaming. My collagen was low, and my gut was a lot of inflammation. So I knew to rebuild that frayed gut lining to soothe the inflammation and to heal my digestive tract and restore the elasticity that was so tight, like that damage around the fascia and around my aching muscles. I started doing the collagen. I made myself a cup of green tea because I know the essence of green tea, the health benefits. Add some lemon to it, and then I'm going to start taking my MSM tablets. So I paired the collagen with the MSM because it's got organic sulfur, the MSM, and it acted like a key that unlocked my stiff and inflamed cells, making them soft and permeable again. So I allowed the collagen to exactly do what it's supposed to, flushing out that built-up lactic acid in my body that was causing this muscular pain, which acted like a natural fire extinguisher for that systemic inflammation. I healed by remembering my biology, and I had to bring it back to a biological safety and stop trying to push through another trauma in my life, thinking I can just put a band-aid on it or just keep working harder and I'll get through it. Not this time. Physically, I knew that my nervous system needs to heal. So through somatic healing with the breath work, to let my nervous system know that it's calm, to get out of the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic system, I had to be aware of my breath and my breathing. So this became part of my daily exercise. Eat slower, chew my food thoroughly, talk to my body and say, my gut is so sore right now. What emotion am I holding on that's causing this pain? And this emotion came up to me is that I'm struggling to let go. So I held that thought for a moment, because our emotions manifest in pain in our organs. So I spoke to myself lovingly and said, I hear you and acknowledge you that I'm struggling to let go. I'm struggling to let go of grief, abandonment, the sorrow, the disappointments, the pain, the rejection, everything that I went through. All these emotions had words were coming through. I accept and let go of my son. I accept and let go the old me that was always pushing so hard and burning out as a high functional businesswoman, a go-getter. I'm now paying the price, and I'm now 60, and I have been busy with my own business at the age of 19, always having 2 businesses or 3 businesses at once. It's caught up. So the MSM has made such a huge difference in my health and my colon and the inflammation. And I give it to my own patients, and they tell me that within day 2, day 3, they can't believe that their arthritis, their gut, the lower back, their shoulders, their neck, the tight jaw, how it absolutely relieves their pain. Really would recommend for someone who's struggling with such physical pain as well as gut issues. You wake up that you are stiff in the morning. This combination is a life changer. So it's time to take better care of yourself and to really reset who you are, because your health is everything.